I decided, with two grinds kind of ongoing, that we would just do both today. Rancho and Yukon, and I find often, really for either one of these, about an hour in, we really start to struggle to find stuff. So, if we... I guess we ran into that cactus, I don't know what just happened. If we kind of split them up a little bit, maybe we'll have more consistent action throughout. What's going on, Mel? Swear I saw Lunar in here. Happy Memorial Day, yeah. Just, honestly, I know it's a different thing for everybody else, and sometimes I forget because I just always stream Mondays that it is indeed a holiday. So hope you guys, those of you that got the day off, are enjoying it. Hunting for an albino grizzly, we are going to be doing that a little bit later today. Taking a small break from Call of the Wild Raccoon by sitting in a stand-on classic. Nice. If somebody would have told me this like a year ago, I wouldn't have believed them. I've got a stand-on Settlers where I pretty consistently get about 15 kills in an hour, which maybe still isn't quite up to the standard of the Golden Tree stand-on Whiteheart, but it's pretty decent. And I've shot a couple of decent elk in that area, so I've been sitting on Settlers a lot of my videos and stuff. Acid, thank you for the 14-month, by the way. Welcome back. Not a rare pheasant, but I'm kind of glad because it's level 1. Just got a level 9 fox, and it was a gold. Oh no. I feel that. I had one on stream when we were doing the red fox grind. I think that was the most like collective community letdown animal we've ever experienced. Hopefully you can get another one, man. They're tough trolls, I gotta say. 4.3 for that guy. Have you ever watched Cameron Haynes? Yeah, I like his stuff. I mean, for like 12 different reasons, he's insane. He basically runs a marathon a day in different spurts. I want to say he was taking shots at like 160 yards or 140 yards or something with his bow. Definitely a skilled lad. Whoa! Did that not hit? I felt pretty good about that hip shot. Had 5 Rocky Mountain Elk trolls in the last 3 weeks? What kind of luck is that? That's terrible. Have you had any diamonds among them? I'm never drinking again, not really. Famous last words. Can you do the 22 strat with the AR-22? You cannot. Maybe it's meant to be a balancing thing, but in my opinion the 22 variant was maybe already better to begin with. But the 22 AR is louder, so they'll flee immediately. Where's this small lad? Track's going both ways. Maybe we can find him. Do you have to restart your game or just exit to the main menu at the end of each run when on the red deer grind? I'm really unsure about the exiting the main menu thing. What you can do certainly that works is switch maps. So if you watch any of my red deer grinding streams from back when we were looking for the great one, I would consistently, obviously grinding on Quattro, just make a quick switch to like Hirschfelden or whatever map I happen to click on first, and then go back and the respawns are in place. The main menu thing, the reason I'm unsure about that, if you sit in the main menu you see animals walking by on your map, so I'm not sure that ever removes you from the map, which is, I believe, kind of the important mechanic there. When you remove that kind of, you know, the AIs for the animals are different when you're not within render of them. So I think you're probably best getting off the map in one way or another. Another thicken. So for those of you that don't watch the Twitch streams or didn't catch the Twitch stream last week, we were chasing pheasants, and one of the very last things we did was kill one, basically the same estimate, 2 to 3 kg, pretty decent score estimate down in this area, and we've shot quite a few heavy pheasants. No level 3s, no diamonds, but quite a lot of good ones. And it's funny, we did the whole hunt for them, I don't know, 4 days ago, something like that. In multiplayer, never did kill a max weight estimate, and we're just finding all kinds in single player. Let's see if we can get that guy. I can't believe we missed that. Okay, good. Through the trees is such a shot in the dark. Half the time it just doesn't hit, catches the limbs or whatever. Max Pitbull, thank you for the super chat, by the way. I certainly appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you. Just got a max score male against buck, my second male diamond against buck. That's awesome, man. I'm still looking, I say I'm looking for one. When I go to Virhunga, I look for one, but I haven't hunted hard to find them in a while. I still think they're way cooler than the female diamonds, so I want one in the lodge eventually. Maybe if they ever came out with a Gemsbuck Multimount, that might be a little more inspiration to go and look. Pheasant AI is kind of trash. It's weird, like half the time it seems to work good. They flush from a distance. Their flight animations are generally good, I think. Lots of small pheasants too. But yeah, then half the time you run up to them and they stand there like they don't know what's going on. What color would you recommend for track color? It depends on the map, really. The reason that I have light blue like this on Rancho actually stems back to when Rancho came out. They bugged tracks, so you see like the little half circle things that are kind of glowing off the tracks. They broke it, and those weren't visible, so all you would ever see, and you can set it to be this way all the time. If we scroll down to track effects, so it was just like this, which for bigger tracks, not a big deal. But when you find really tiny animal tracks, bobcat tracks were a real issue, you want that particle effect. So that's kind of why I have the light blue, but I find light blue works well on a lot of maps. Not so much Medved. Medved you're going to want like a green or a pinkish color, something like that. Ray, I get to cut your live stream. I'm glad you can make it in, man. Hopefully it'll be a good one. Hopefully we can get one of the rare things that we're after. I know I just saw another pheasant take off, and I don't know if it was the rooster or not. There's tracks all over here. I kind of think it was the rooster. Just now, yep. Eventually we'll find it. Watch the stream playing Farming Sim. Nice, dude. Maybe I'll actually do it. We're I'm gonna say 98% done with all things Meat Hunters as far as getting it ready for Wild TV this summer. So maybe instead of like editing that stuff literally every morning, I can get Farming Sim and play that a little bit. I've been missing it. Hatchet, thanks for becoming a member here on YouTube as well. Good to see you. Hope things are going well. What track colors each to see in the weeds on Classic? So, in my opinion, the worst weeds on Classic are on Timber Gold. And I actually use a very similar color to what I have here in Call of the Wild, like a light blue color. Seems to work well. Is that the real Flinter? I'm just a fan. Trying to capitalize on the name. Can you say how to find moose? Because I need that diamond. I've had the best luck on like Yukon up in the swampy area. Obviously their drink time, which I think is still the same on Yukon, like 9 to 1300? It's 8 to 12 or something on Layton, but yeah, 9 to 1300 on Yukon. Swampy area works well. Took me long enough? Well, I appreciate you nonetheless, man. Hunting lions. Kind of like with the moose, I would just say hunt their drink time, which is 12 to 1500 over on Brahunga. Just about every lake on the map can have lions. So if you're like grinding for a rare or a diamond or something in single player, I would recommend setting up tents, 250 meters from all the lakes, and basically jumping from tent to tent, try to get to every lake, shoot as many lions as you can. The more you can shoot per run, the less time in theory it'll take. When grinding and setting the time, should I set the time for before bang on or during the drink times? So, the interesting thing about drink times, and I'm sure you probably know this, but I'll explain it for anybody that maybe doesn't. They're not all the same. So, you've got, let's go with Red Deer on Quattro. Their drink time is 6 to 10, but you also get one to start later, about 6:30. And that can go 6:30 to 10 or 6:30 to 10:30. What I do is I always take that half hour into consideration. So, if their drink time's 6, I just consider all of them to be 6:30 because I don't want to miss some, And I'll set the time for about 6:25, 6:20, and find a place where I have to run. Maybe I got to run 500 meters or something. Just give the Red Deer time to work their way into their zones, and you're all set. That is the thing too. Like Mel said, animals will show up late to their zones a lot. If you start to experience that, then you just gotta start the time a little bit later. Should do a Silver Ridge live stream. We were just there not too long ago. If I recall, we didn't end up killing anything, which is odd. Silver Ridge Peaks almost always, you know, nets us some kind of cool kill, but I'm thinking we'll go back there sometime soon, maybe for another video. Not sure what we're even going to do there yet, but we'll come up with something. How long till the stream ends? We've still got more or less 2 hours, 1 hour and 50 minutes. Just getting started here. Release date for Finland? I don't know why that command didn't work. Nightbot's out here taking the day off, I guess. Maybe it's deserved. We don't have an official release date yet. Jake, thank you for the 3 months, by the way. Someone smells like pudding. It's not me. I smell like smoke from a cookout last night. What's she barking about?
She's mad because she can't get the treats.
Oh. It's so funny you give her treats, but if they're just inaccessible, she gets very upset. Do you have a great one, Red Deer? I do. I have one, my only one, from sometime in March. 263, I think. I found out something very interesting. Somebody who clearly pays more attention to the Great One racks than me, he posted in the Discord last night that the small rack Great One Red Deer has, I think, 50-something points. The big rack is 62, and then there's another one with 46, which is kind of a medium rack, but his scored like 270, which is around what the big racks often score. Mine was 263, but it was that 46 tine rack, which kind of seems to be the least common, but I find that to be cool. Oh, nice, Jake. We were at my parents'. Dad made... The main thing was like shish kebab, which is really good. Plus, he just added bacon in it because why not? But he also made... He called them smoked shotgun shells, and maybe other people are familiar with these, but I certainly was not. They also weren't made the normal way, or the way that whatever he found was. Because I guess, like, the particular recipe he was looking at was whatever the main ingredients were, like hamburger and onions and cheese and stuff all kind of together. And then I think it was wrapped in bacon and then wrapped in some kind of, like, lasagna noodle type thing. I can't eat that. Well, I can, but then I'll die. Not actually die, but I'll, get a little bit sick due to gluten-free struggles. Ah, didn't know there were any pheasants up that far. So anyway, yeah, he ended up wrapping them in bacon, and they were so good. That was maybe the highlight of the whole thing. Not to talk bad about the shish kebab or anything. Can all the Great One racks be maximum weight, or just the big one? Just the big one. And there's a lot of confusion around weights in Call of the Wild. I'd like to do a video kind of explaining it, but then I feel like I'm kind of going against what the devs say. Because you'll see, like, somebody will post, like, I don't know, a bugged animal of some kind, or a hacked animal, perhaps, of some kind. And the devs will say, like, yeah, that can happen. Weight doesn't matter. Weight does matter. I don't know if they're saying it meaning a different thing, but think of it this way. You're never going to get a diamond whitetail below about 93, 94 kg. It just won't happen. Because you need a certain weight to get a certain rack. You're never going to get the big rack whitetail that will weigh 92 kg. You probably need upwards of 96, 97. That does not mean that that big rack doesn't end up being a little bit twisted, maybe a little bit narrow or something, and ends up scoring even below diamond. It's possible. But it's still the big rack. It's the big frame. And I think there's a lot of confusion, misunderstanding around how all that works. But to get back to the point, you would need the big rack to be max weight. Has anybody ever shot a legit max weight Great One? I know I've seen, like, within a quarter of a kg or whatever. Got a level 2 albino diamond whitetail, same. They're cool. Is it hard to get the diamond albino brown bear on Medved? Now, those missions are very simple. Maybe I had done more of the missions than I was aware of, but I swear I had it done in, like, an hour and 15 minutes. It did not take me long. Yeah, exactly, Mello. It was, all, like, narrow and weird. You posted the picture. I thought it was a Great One rack. It looked weird. I haven't seen a legit max weight one either. That doesn't mean they're not out there, but you imagine, like, for every diamond that you shoot, and I've shot close to 900 diamonds, whatever it is by now, I've maybe got 15 to 20 that are max weight, maybe a little more than that, but the percentage is still quite low, so, you know, they could be out there and they could be, yeah, somebody that's not on social media or whatever. There he is, finally. Are you gonna flush, sir? Because it says fleeing and not defensive. Could be a little hit or miss. They're all grays today, which is interesting. Go ahead. I'm ready. Most satisfying thing. Okay. Small, but I guess worth it. Is it a side mission of the story? I think that's the main story mission. It's been a while. I actually had to wait for Verhunga's release to do that particular mission because the mission was bugged. It would spawn... Okay. It would spawn all kinds of weird stuff. You could get a legendary musk deer, which maybe I should have just shot that. That would have been an otherwise impossible thing to get. It would spawn a lynx there instead. You could get legendary caribou. I don't think they were big though. Like, I don't think they were even diamonds, despite the fact that they were level 9. Because I think it's like a set trophy rating range, so they were probably very tiny. Because brown bear, although brown bear and lynx are scored the same, so maybe that would have been. Anyway, irrelevant details here. Basically, yeah. Even if you got a bear to spawn, it would be a common fur type. So they finally fixed that. Oof, almost got a diamond there. It is a main story mission. It's probably the only. No, the wolf on Quattro is also a main story mission that is a unique animal. Do you agree that we need more guns with different classes than just the 4 to 8, 2 to 6, 3 to 5, or 3 to 7? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm grasping what you're saying. You're getting at, like, maybe we could have a weapon that's... I don't want to use 1 to 3 because we just got a 1 to 2. Maybe a 3 to 4 or a 3 to 5, or like more, I don't know what direction you want to go in, more niche weapons or more broad weapons, but yeah, like, when it comes to loadout building, I love to do that, and especially this time of year when, you know, we're waiting on new content, I do all kinds of like, hey, let's hunt with all camo weapons today, let's hunt with all wood grain stock weapons today, just all kinds of weird stuff, but... track that kind of minute. Because of the way that it works with the weapon system and there's so limited options as to, you know, what covers all the classes on a map, there's a more limited array of loadouts than you would otherwise be able to get. Oh, you're the big one, aren't you? No? No, that's right, it was a molting. Oh my god, don't mind that shot. Nobody saw that. That was so bad. Good lord. At least we got it. Did I miss anything? Nothing special. One thick pheasant. We got another thick pheasant track over here that we're going to go and look at. Single player has been way more kind. Now, we haven't killed a diamond yet, but lots of big pheasants, which in my mind is indicative of good things. Tips on wolves. You can hunt them 2 different ways. You can hunt them in their drink time at night, which is like midnight to 3 a.m. I think. Or you can just kind of run around and hope they find you. In my experience, the only times that you can run around and hope they find you, well, let me put that a different way. If you want to run around and hope they just attack you, excuse you, they end up just fleeing. But if you're hunting like caribou or something in that area, they all attack you and ruin your hunt. I swear, it's like they know. But, yeah, depends on your style. Like, I'm not a big fan of hunting at night, but some things like wolves is just kind of better. Are you excited about the new map? For all the reasons I could be excited, yes. Number one, like, in terms of content, obviously, new maps are a huge deal, new content's a huge deal. Generally speaking, minus the fact that I'm doing some of these grinds, and I've really been enjoying the Grizzly grind, and even the Pheasants, as of late, doing it in single player. But, you know, I'm about ready for something new in Call of the Wild. And then, map specific for Reventuli Coast. It looks good. The waterfowl hunting looks really, really well done. I mean, a huge step up from what we have. So, I'm excited to give it a shot. I was telling Kyler this, and my God, it'll be interesting. I don't know if you guys, I shouldn't even bring it up because now you guys are going to hear it. There's like a air conditioning unit thing running in the hallway, and it definitely does not keep this room cool enough, but better than nothing, I guess. Anyway, irrelevant details again. I want to get a central air system, and I say that because what I'd like to do for release or early access, however they end up doing that, I'd like to do like a 4 to 6 hour stream and just set up every different waterfowl setup we can. Probably do a fair bit of hunting, but you know, a decent chunk of what I'd like to do is just setup wise. This is potentially going to be weird. When they flee from that far, a lot of times they just fly. I think we're okay. Another small guy, but max weights are max weights. What do you think is the best sniper? Technically, I'm going to say the 6.5. It's incredibly flat shooting. You can have a 400 meter shot 0 for 300, and you don't have to aim that high. But you're very limited on power. So you could go, the 7 mils pretty flat shooting. That would be a good in between. It's also a single shot, so if you want a sniper that, you know, you can kill 3 things with, you're gonna want something, you know, 6.5, 308, one of those types of weapons. I knew I was gonna miss that. It was too predictable. Okay, I guess land. We'll get 0 for farther and get you on the second one. Or come this way, that works too. Hey. Who needs to aim? 18.1. Which animal took you longest to get a diamond and which was the most rewarding? Longest to get a diamond, let's see. A diamond at all? I don't even know the answer to that because like new maps get added obviously and new species come along with that and that kind of changes. You know, you think like, oh, I didn't get a diamond antelope jackrabbit until August of 2021. Like, that's one of the last things I got. But no, you know, that was only 2 months from the time it came out. The longest grind that I remember spending significant time on was definitely Red Fox. That was quite a few months. Had quite a lot of trolls in there. Probably that. That's the worst one I can remember in quite some time. What's up, Joe? How's things going today? You should do another hunting challenge with a girlfriend. Yeah, we need to do more stuff. I gotta get a mixer for our microphones so that it's because she has a PC set up now, which she didn't the last time we did this. If I can get a mixer so we have like good quality audio, I'll do it. Hello? Oh, just that. Diamond Eurasian Teal? Yeah, those look good. They just on Twitter, I think, just released a little video for those. I saw Mel had a video on that. What's up, Little? I don't know how long you've been here. I just saw you. About to pull a couple big pork chops off the smoker. Nice. I don't even know what we're doing for dinner. Not pork chops. We do? I didn't think we had any of the main stuff. We have stuff in the refrigerator. It'll be fine. Anyway, a red spotted Sika deer rare. Somebody else in the chat is probably a better person to ask than me because they used to be like a borderline rare, and then all the fur types got moved around, and now I don't know if they're actually rare or not. I haven't seen one since they did that, so I think they are. I'm gonna be honest with you, I still need to watch that Way of the Hunter. I keep on seeing, like, it's in my recommended every time because I put it on watch later, and every time I'm like, I'm recording, I won't be able to pay as much attention to this I want, and I keep putting it on the back burner. I'll get there eventually. Appears they're rare now. I think that's a good thing, even though, you know, they more or less appear common. We got roosters, pheasants for days. I'm glad they're vocal. It's fun, like, playing Rancho for, you know, however long we've played it now. I'd hear the pheasants making so much noise, and I was like, there's no way, this is so dumb. There's no way it's like that. And then we had a pheasant here in late February, early March, I think. No, they're very vocal. They talk all the time. You got compliments mail, you got recommended videos. The, what's it called, resume keeps on growing. That's not it. I'm sure I will. As soon as I get the chance to sit down, maybe you'd be like, well, I cooked dinner or something, if that's a thing today. Plan on getting Call the Wild. Got some tips? Considering the way you phrased the question, essentially, you know, starting fresh, I would say the biggest thing that I wish I knew starting out was that, for one, shooting things actually matters. So I remember specifically being new to the game, and I was talking to one of my friends, and I was like, I've been to this spot like 50 times, and I've never killed any rares or anything. Not knowing that just going back there over and over, I was seeing the same animals and not really shooting that many. So, you know, it was a bunch of just, you know, repetitive visiting the area. So anytime you shoot an animal is replaced with another animal, that is important to know. Wait a minute. Did we hit that? I don't know what's happening, but there's more roosters here than I was prepared for, so we're just shooting that one on the ground. I don't know if we hit that. But anyway, to wrap that up, the animals respawn, basically, so when you shoot an animal, you get a new one. That's good to know. And just hunt around water. Lakes, rivers, little tiny ponds that you wouldn't think would have anything. You'll be surprised the amount of animals you find that way. You could have any Great One carnivore, what would it be? We've talked about... That looked a little dark to me. If it's another melanistic hen, I will be a sad lad. Anyway. Lion could be neat. Grizzly bear could be kind of cool. Probably lion. Which direction's he flying? That was the rooster again. This always happens. Oh well. Not a melanistic, first of all. Do we really chase that rooster down through there? I think we're gonna let that go and get back on track here. Wasn't a rare, wasn't that big. We could track it for forever. What is one new multi-mount you really want with a new map? So when you say with a new map, do you mean with the new map where we already know what the species are? Because I'm not sure if there's any major ones. You know what? I do have one. With the new duck species. If we could have multi-mounts of... Let's just call it two. Let's make this very simple. Give me wall plaque multi-mounts of... Are all male ducks called drakes, or is it just particular species? I'm going to say a male and a female of... I don't care. Give me every duck species. I'll do it for every single one of them. But I just think... Maybe this is a bit of a unique experience, but very, very often we've got a fair few ducks around here, and you see a male and a female. You see a drake and a hen mallard. You see, I'll just say male and female wood duck, because I don't know if they're called drakes and hens or not. It's a consistent thing, and I don't know. You see that a lot in like trophy lodges or in duck hunters' houses. They'll have a mount on the wall with a male and a female duck, and we don't have any wall multi-mounts, and I don't see a reason why they can't do it. Actually, not a big fan of glitches and stuff in Call of the Wild, but there is a glitch, exploit, whatever you want to call it, that people do, that allows you to place any trophy on any plaque or platform. And one thing that I've seen, if you place a multi-mount on the wall, it'll work. It just kind of stacks all the animals. So, like, they kind of have the ability to put them there. They just have to do a little different. All male ducks are called drakes. All right, good to know. Was never sure if that was the case or not. That's another rooster. Glad we came back up. Oh, hello. Special delivery. Or wait, never mind. That's the same one. He just decided to come back. Is 413 good for Roosevelt Elk? That is near the max. Best shotgun for raccoon and pheasant. So the thing about raccoon is now, they're class 2, so you need buckshot. So I'll probably go like 10 gauge. I'd want the most powerful buckshot I could get my hands on. Wait. I think I'm lying here. Do I have it? 10 gauge. I don't have buckshot. I bet 10 gauge buckshot's too powerful. So 12 gauge, I guess, is your next best option. What great one do you want? I want mule deer. But I've been talking about this a lot. I think we need a non-antlered great one sooner rather than later. Because if we reach a point, I don't know what the critical mass is, but you know, if we're 7 great ones in and it's been all antlered animals, and then eventually you run out of antlered animals, so then they do like a great one, mountain lion, I don't know, something. Everybody's gonna be disappointed, but if they can start to inject some great one predators and stuff, I think that's the way to do it. I think that'll work a lot better to where, you know, our expectations are set properly. I don't know where to find pheasants. Run the roads. Specifically, like down here in the south. This one's not as good anymore. It used to be. This area is good. I just run along the roads and listen for warning calls and run at them. They just go and hide in the brush, and then they'll flush when you get close. I live in PA too. We have tons of mallards and some wood ducks. I'm actually not 100% sure that they're wood ducks. They might be a teal species of some kind that we've been seeing. The ones that, like, when they're in the water, they swim with their wings. I feel like that's a very specific thing. Oh, I just got 4 piebald harlequin ducks back to back. Well, now I feel less accomplished with my diamond harlequin piebald yesterday. I was thinking maybe it's gone backwards from what I thought. Because I shot a diamond piebald maybe years ago at this point, and it was, you know, an uncommon whatever. You would see piebald harlequins fairly frequently. So when I shot this one, I didn't think anything of it. And then I got to thinking about all the changes. I was like, maybe it's a legit rare now, but if you just killed 4, yeah, it's probably not a legit rare. I think it might be an animal that's on the free maps. Yeah, that's been, and it's hard to call it a trend when it's been 2 species, but that's been what they've done so far with the whitetail and the red deer. I don't know, what do you do for free maps? What's left? Blacktail, potentially? Elk? Elk would be a good one. Fallow deer? I guess there's a fair few options yet. Excited for the raccoon dogs? I don't know anything about them. I think they'll be cool. Have we seen one on stream? I wonder where the heck they are. Because they've been, you know, TK flew all around.
Yeah, and the next one was just all the ducks.
Yeah, that makes sense. They didn't see any then, I guess. What did that say? Hello. Piebald harlequin duck or anteater are way more common now. That's unfortunate. It's weird. Mallard went the other way. I feel like rare mallards are much closer to legit rares than they ever were. They're still not rare, don't get me wrong, but I feel like you actually see them less. It's not necessarily the piebalds, but like melanistic. I don't see many of them anymore. Ow. Where are you, sir? Oh, feathered friend. What the heck? I hear wings, so we must be going the right way. That's not it. They should, in theory, like most animals, all kind of flee in the same direction. So for with the hens, I can only imagine the rooster's somewhere nearby. That's not a rooster. That's not a rooster. There's a bunch of turkeys out there. We already came up through here once. Well, what the heck? Where did the... Let's just go look for tracks. I don't know. I at least want to know what it was. That'd be my luck to run right past a rare and never see it. Only the OGs remember the Val de Bois days. I used to hunt Val... I assume that's what you're referring to. Maybe not. I used to hunt Val de Bois so much. There we go. a gray. Maybe even the one that we were looking for earlier. See if we can figure out what direction he went in. You know, I was in school in those days when I was making content, and I'd, you know, get home from... I'd go to school, then go to work. I'd get home and it'd be like 9 p.m. and I'd be tired, and I'd be like, I'm gonna go hunt Valuable for like 45 minutes. Probably kill a rare or something big, and that's gonna be my content. And I did that a lot. I kind of miss it. It's one of those things, though. It's the same almost as Latent Lakes. A lot of people ask me on streams and stuff, what's my favorite map? And I say Latent, and I'm sure some people are like, you literally never hunt Latent. What are you talking about? But I've just hunted it so much. Like, I can only go back so many times now without getting burnout. And I'm kind of careful about that. But yeah, Val's kind of the same way. Like, I haven't gone there as much because I don't want to ruin it. Why do common pheasants still exist? I don't know. It's got to be an oversight. It happened with... I'm just realizing all these are walk tracks, so our pheasant flew over us and I didn't see it. Anyway, there was one other species. I forget. But yeah, they must have... Because there were 2 common variants, and frankly, I couldn't tell you what the difference is. I have no idea. So they made one that used to be called common into the now brown plumage type, and they probably just didn't realize there was another common fur type. That would be my guess, or forgot, or, you know, overlooked it. Whatever sequence of events led to that. Eventually, I'm sure they'll fix it. This is one of those ones where I'm really not sure it's worth it. Go ahead. Okay. It officially became not worth it. Joe, thank you for the 15 months, by the way. Welcome back. Oh, now all your friends fly. Well, they all flush after I smoked the rooster on the ground. That's a rooster over there. Odds that we hit it? -12. I don't even know where he went. Probably the one that we had that 1 to 2 kg track. I was certainly not a rare. Have you accidentally shot a rare before? Yeah, depending on how you look at it, the albino brown bear that we shot over on Medved could almost be considered like an accidental rare. Like, I said it at the time, like, I'm pretty sure it's a blonde bear, but I better shoot it just in case. I genuinely, like, I don't know how to describe this best, but when I do a hunt on a map like Medved or Hirschfelden, I'll a lot of times go into either stories about like the way the game used to be, or maybe, you know, talking about different strategies, different loadout stuff, whatever it might be. And in that particular instance, I wonder, you know, what percentage of me making the decision to shoot that bear was that kind of looks like it might be a rare, and what percentage was, you know, maybe I should talk about something here that I think is useful information, but that I maybe wouldn't say on another map or whatever. Like, I really wonder, if I wasn't recording, do I just walk past that bear? I think there's a fair chance I do. What's up, Stinky? It's going good, man. We've killed quite a fair few pheasants already today, which I'm pretty pleased with. A couple of pretty good ones. Is there an albino pheasant? There are albino, leucistic, and melanistic for rares. I think we're pretty well through this area. I want to get moving, too. There's one other rooster in the area, but... or maybe more than one. I know of one. But in like 20 minutes, we're going to switch to Yukon, so... probably better hop to a new area. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Let's go to this road and run kind of north. Mellow pheasants look cool. Yeah, they're like a bluish color. I feel like it was Drury Outdoors. I forget who it was. They tweeted out a real nice whitetail buck mount, and along with it, they had a melanistic pheasant. And I don't know that it was their mount. They might have been sharing someone else's thing, but a melanistic pheasant, like, kind of hiding in the grass, and they really are. They're like a blue color. Also excited for how much I'm gonna miss using the 22 for the geese. Yeah, that'll be interesting. It's gonna be a very different A very different goose hunting world, if that makes sense. Yeah, Clark. Blue bobcats are now rare. Are now rare. Enunciate better, perhaps. What spices? Yeah, oregano, pepper, garlic. What species would you put on a PA map? Tough question, because I'd like to, you know, make it unique. I don't want it to just be a bunch of repeats. You'd almost have to do whitetail, black bear, eastern turkey, beaver, maybe. Yeah, that would be a good one. We see them here. You could do, and I don't know what would they be called, American bobcat or whatever. They'd be different than the Mexican bobcat, but not by much. You could do pheasants if you wanted. Maybe squirrels could be a new one. You could do groundhogs or woodchucks, whatever you call them. Depends on where you're from. I don't know that there's a lot of other great options for species. We already have eastern cottontail. You could throw them on there. Oh, ruffed grouse. That's a good one. Yeah, that's our state bird. Maybe I should have chose that one. Or state game animal? State birds. I don't know. When I was in 4th grade, I knew this. Can black... I assume you mean black bear? Can they be mellow? No. Weirdly enough, there was a long period of time early in Call the Wild's life cycle, whatever you want to refer to that as, where people did think they were melanistic black bear. There's, with a lot of species, there's multiple common variants, and there is a common variant of black bear, which it's different now, but there used to be one that was darker than the rest, and a lot of times someone would say, I just saw a melanistic black bear, it got away. Like, there aren't any, but it was a common. What's up, Pixel?
You said ground pigs instead of groundhogs.
Oh, I saw
was
that.
Just giving a hard time.
Groundhogs. They're also referred to as whistle pigs, which I think is what they should call them in game if they ever did it. Chipmunks, you legally can't hunt chipmunks, at least here. They were on like the threatened list or something, which, if you come into my backyard, you will see they don't seem to be threatened here, other than by shadow. Chasing the poor things. The dusky black bears look melanistic? Yeah, they don't have the tan or brown fur like up by the nose. Are there melanistic black buck? Yes. Which is odd. You wouldn't expect that. I know. It's funny, you know. I know some people just want attention and they're, you know, more or less innocently trying to garner attention in a streamer community or something. But you know, when someone says like, I just shot a melanistic diamond lion, collectively, I can't see how many people are in the chat right now. Can you see?
463.
Okay, so let's just round up. We're gonna say 500 people, and on average, even if on average we have 200 hours, that's like a collective, what, 10,000 hours? And I have 5,000 by myself, so just put it up to 15,000. And it's way more than that. Like, I guarantee it's way more than that. Like, the amount of collective Call the Wild knowledge is in this chat, and then somebody will say something like that, and everybody's like, what are you doing? Is there mellow reindeer? There are, and they're very cool looking. What part of PA? I'm like West Central PA, Ryan. Kind of crazy. Wait, why are you gonna be cursed? I must have missed something. How many diamonds have you shot? I don't even know. Let's go and look. You know, a diamond today would be quite nice. Oh, we're 1 away from 900. Funny enough. A diamond today would be quite nice, though. We've got the montage coming on Wednesday, and I feel like I'm lacking in diamonds. So, wouldn't mind getting another one. My 4-month Cocker Spaniel loves chasing chipmunks. I remember our dog at my parents' house, Rocky. He would chased them into, and I don't even remember exactly what they were, but big, like, 4 or 5 inch pipes. No idea what Dad had them there for. And Rocky could get a hold of those things and kind of, like, shift them around. Every now and then he'd get one to run out the wrong end, and he'd get a hold of them. 900th diamond would be a diamond albino grizzly. Much like when we were looking for the 200 whitetail. And, you know, it would take me forever, so a lot of people were like, your 200 is going to be albino. I'd be like, you have no idea how long I've dreamt about that happening. Didn't happen, by the way. The 200 part did, not the albino. But I think about that with the grizzly, like, to see the albino grizzly, and it could be kind of like the piebald diamond gray fox. It's one of those situations where you recognize the rare first, and, you know, in the case of, say, the piebald diamond whitetail that we shot on stream, you know that it's big because you see the antlers. So there isn't quite the same, like, oh, moment when you spot it and see that level. One day I hope to have it. I hate grinding for bison. I love getting the rares, but I've had 4 to 5 troll diamonds. I don't think I've had 4 to 5 troll bison ever. That's not good luck. I have 10 diamonds. It's crazy, and I just started. It took me a year to get to like 2, so I'm sure you're ahead of me. Why subtract 200 off your diamond total? I'm actually subtracting 300, which probably seems weird. Fair enough. Basically, in March of 2021, when Bloodhounds came out, they attempted to add a Great One counter, and I think it was as simple as this. So, they had the Great One counter, I think where it already was, but they didn't, like, reallocate where, like, what value should go up by 1 when you get the right, or, you know, when you kill a diamond, a gold, or whatever. So every gold was being put into the diamond category. Luckily, I caught that, like, I happened to remember Scarecrow was streaming, and I was in his chat, and we were all like, why are the diamond counts completely out of whack? And I realized, I believe that I shot a diamond cinnamon teal and saw it go into my Great One counter, which didn't even say Great One back then. Like, I don't think they meant to release it. It said, like, LOC something. But anyway, yeah, I caught onto it, like, within 6 hours of the Bloodhound update. So, I went back to the stream from, like, the day before. Somebody asked me what my diamond count was, and I wrote down that number. And I kept track of what my diamond count was supposed to be. And EW told us, like, hey, this update's coming to fix it. Coming tomorrow or whatever, which is rare. They don't normally tell us when a fix is coming out. But I was about 50 diamonds away, or 50 golds away, technically, from having my number be exactly 300 above. And my thing was, alright, I'm going to shoot 50 golds today and get my number to 300 so that it's not difficult math, right? Anytime in the future somebody asks me how many diamonds do I have, quick look, minus 300, and I'm there. Long story short, they broke things, and now all my numbers are wrong, including this 20 Great One stat. It's supposed to say 2. I believe I must have shot 18 diamonds during the period where they were being counted as Great Ones. Frustrating if that wasn't fixed, but what do you do? What is the smallest Great One in Call of the Wild? You can get Great One Red Deer that score below diamond, which I think is very cool. We have an ongoing question. So diamond for Red Deer is 251. I've seen Great One Red Deer posted in the community about as low as 247. So what happens if you mess up a Great One Red Deer that scores below diamond? Because normally, if you mess up a Great One, it becomes a gold. But they're above diamond. And I believe it was Mel brought this up recently. The developers have said something to the effect of, like, a Great One is almost like a form of a diamond. It's not a rank above diamond. So, if effectively it's a form of a gold due to trophy rating when it's only a 247, does it become a silver? Because a silver Great One, in a weird way, is like the rarest possible thing in the game. So I don't know, I'm curious about that, but I'm not going to be the one to mess up a Great One to find out. Kyla tried, but she found a 270 instead of a 240.
Yeah, it was like 273.
That's big. Nothing good yet, Bailey. Lots of pheasants. That part has been encouraging. 2 max weight ones so far. No rares, no diamonds, but still got 20 minutes. Never mind, we got 10 minutes. Time flies. 10 minutes till we switch to Yukon. Hello. I won't spoil things in case you didn't catch yesterday's video for anybody that hasn't watched that yet, but we just hunted grizzlies, and gotta say, there was quite a lot of gaps between male grizzlies, so hopefully the stream version of chasing them is going to be a little smoother. I'd love to see a silver red deer gray one. It would be kind of funny to have one in the lodge. I would venture to guess, if it is indeed the way that it works, that if anybody has one, it's probably the only one. Got a turkey 11 kg diamond? Nice. I had one... Did I have 2? I think I had a Rio and a Merriam's max weight, but my Merriam's wasn't max score. The Rio was. I was just telling that story on stream not too long ago. It was frozen in place, kind of like that female turkey back there was, and it happened to be max score. And I was like, man, like it's 100% legitimate, but it's dumb to just shoot it frozen in place. I didn't know it was gonna be a max score. Or no, I did, because it was 4 to 5 estimate, but it just wouldn't move. So I was like, well, I won't make a video out of that. Who wants to see a max score turkey shot frozen in place? If you mess up a great one, you really are not supposed to get rewarded for it. I don't necessarily disagree. Would you make video on terminology? I literally, I just had that idea recently. I think I'm gonna do that. I guess the tough thing would be like coming up with all the terms that people want to know. Troll was a big one that I would definitely want to touch on. True axe I can do. I had another one that I thought was a very commonly misunderstood phrase. Respawns, that's what it was. That's not a phrase. Anyway, should do a bighorn grind on Rancho? It'd be a lot more doable now than it used to be. They used to share their drink time with bobcats, and not only that, they shared like a huge percentage of their drink zone locations with bobcats, so all the time you'd just have bighorn fleeing everywhere. Clark's the dictionary. I don't need to make such videos. Should do a musk deer video. I guess I could in single player. The really difficult thing about musk deer, you can hunt them in their, like let's say I want to do multiplayer. If I can find a server that's 3 AM, I've got an hour to hunt them in their drink time. They are one of the most difficult species to hunt in their feed or rest times. Kind of like a red fox or a coyote or something. They're just so little. Any, bit of tall grass, brush, if you don't happen to go right up on them and get close enough to a warning call, you might just never see them. Nah, I appreciate you, Clark. That's, if not enough people want to see such a video, it's probably best to just give the information in chat. Oh, that's low for a legendary ditty. What is that, like 10 below diamond? Isn't 492 the diamond requirement? Feeling sick, but Flinter makes it better. Hopefully you get better soon, man. Being sick's no fun. That's awesome, Rex. I appreciate the long-standing support. It'd be cool for the trophy lodge to say where you shot the animal. Yeah, that information used to be available. It's not anymore, right? Now, so there was another column. I'm sure you can go back and find a screen grab of it from one of my old streams. You'd have species, fur type, I think here, location. A lot of times it would be broken, but it would say the region, right? So, if we shot one here, it would say La Hacienda. Shot one down here, it would say El Potrero. I feel I need to address this now, too, because anytime that I show, like, this thing, everyone's like, how do you have 20 great ones? And I'm like, it's the Bloodhound bug. So now, because I showed this, if anybody thinks that I've hacked a bunch of animals that score 1,000, this is the old scoring system. I don't know why they kept it saying trophy rating, but all animals used to have a max of 1,000. Do you have a mellow raccoon? I have My only rare raccoon might still be that albino. I've tracked a blonde piebald in multiplayer, couldn't find it. Good weight, could have been a gold, potentially. Never found it. I found one on, did you kill it? You did, right? The one on your map? It was a silver. Blonde piebald raccoon. I was on Kyla's map for literally 5 minutes. I forget what I was even doing there. Helping her with an outpost or something. And, of course, I found a blonde piebald raccoon track. Okay, there's one there. I saw another rooster on that side. Not rares, but we'll try to get him. He's going to flush again. This might be a 22 job. That doesn't mean we're going to hit it. But we can try. There's that one. Ugh. Hiding below the hill is no good. I'll give you 4 mellow raccoons for 1 albino. I mean, my albino sits in my second lodge because it was small, so maybe maybe I don't have room to talk, but I'm not a huge fan of the mellow raccoons. I kind of prefer the albino anyway. Oh, that is so annoying. Nobody saw that. It's fine. Dang it. What is happening? Hello? What? How far is that? Something doesn't add up here. Okay, I was just shooting too far. Where's your friend? Is he still here? It wasn't supposed to take 20 shots. I could have run over there and grabbed him by the neck quicker than that. D-Face, thank you for the super chat. Is it possible to play an older version of the game if you felt like it? I wish. As far as I'm aware, the only way to do that would be if you could get a hold of a hard copy, because they had, like the CDs. In theory, you could do that for console too. The only way that I can think of would be you have to do that and then disconnect whatever console that you're using from the internet. Because if you have it connected to the internet, you're going to be forced to do an update. I happen to have, and it's been changed now, but my old PC that I used to stream and record Call of the Wild from, it was right after I shot my albino diamond moose. It was October 2018. So I don't know, 7 months before Truex, something like that. I got the new PC there in October, and basically the old one just sat unplugged in the closet. Never had any power, never had any connection to the internet from then. So, to make a long story short, because I feel like I've been rambling a lot this stream, when I was preparing videos for our West Virginia trip, I felt bad because Kyla was just kind of stuck here listening to me recording. So I set up that old PC for her, for her to be able to play Classic or whatever we were doing at the time. And for 5 minutes or something, because I didn't have the time, I had to make videos for West Virginia, there was no connection to the internet, and the old Call of the Wild save files. So it was legacy racks, it was old system. It was cool to see them. It was cool to actually go on my latest harvest. The albino diamond moose was still there. But, yeah, unfortunately, like, you can't revert to an old version, which I don't understand why they don't allow you to do that. I had a plan for a long time. I intended to get a hard copy of the game, like I said, and play it for a video series as a Throwback Thursday thing. But I don't think, because of the way that save files and stuff work, it might be an issue since I have a current save file. Of course, you flush when I don't have my gun out. It's fine. One map I wish they could make is Japan. Wolves, bears, something I don't know the name of, Sigadir, boar, etc. So is hunting a big thing in Japan? Japan's like maybe the last country. Like if you said name a country where there's a lot of hunting, Japan would probably be like 190 on my list, like one of the very bottom ones. It just seems like culturally they just wouldn't be into that as much. I don't know. I'm curious. Only on the northern island. Okay. 50 cal would rock the big game animals. There was a Hunter Classic did it, a little April Fool's thing in I don't know, 2013, 15, 16, they had a picture of a 50 cal, and they took it from the Hunter Primal, because they actually have a 50 cal. And they put like a rabbit in the background, which I thought made it pretty clear this is an April Fool's joke. But so many people were like, oh, I can't wait to shoot my next elk with a 50 cal. Like, they really fool people on that one. I think that's why they don't do stuff like that anymore. They make very obvious April Fool's jokes. A lot of people were really upset they weren't getting their 50 cal. Get out of here, Landon. Oh, no. What is drink time for Rocky Mountain Elk? They have two. I think it's 4 to 5 a.m. and then 17 to 1800. Very brief drink times that are kind of... They're tough because, like a lot of animals, they need to take time to get into the zone to begin with. So, you know, the time might start at 1700, but it might be 1720 till they're there. It gives you about 10 real-life minutes till the drink zones are over. "600 species of mammals and birds inhabiting in Japan are strictly protected, and their hunting and capturing are prohibited without permission and or license for wildlife protection authorities." It's a very different situation, you know? I'd like to see them try Primal again with the Call of the Wild stuff. Same. Primal was the most fun throwback series that we've done for me, and you know, I think that often they've got a much more capable engine and stuff now. Because, I mean, I could be wrong, but almost certainly Primal's on the same engine as Classic. Why wouldn't it be? Animations, some of the weapons, all that stuff was the same. There were a lot, and you could call them excuses. I may call them excuses. There were a lot of times, you know, somebody would suggest something like, hey, why don't we have, you know, insert cool idea in Classic? And the devs would say, it's an engine limitation, we can't do that. Maybe those are valid excuses, I don't know. But then, naturally, that would lead to the same types of things in Primal, but I don't know the name of the engine that Call of the Wild's on, but that should open up so many more things they could do. I mean, more potential species of dinosaur, more maybe animations, I mean, bigger maps. It could be really, really cool what they could do if they were to do it. And my impression is that dinosaur games in general are a pretty big thing. It seems like a good niche to get into. Dinosaur hunting games, in fact, are a pretty big niche. And obviously, EW is kind of like the authority when it comes to hunting games. I don't quite see why they haven't picked that back up again. I think we hit that, right? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go claim a bunny down here, then we'll switch to Yukon Valley for an hour. Deer and boar are overpopulated in some areas of Japan. That would seem to make sense. Now that they've done Call of the Wild, do you think they'd ever do the Hunter Primal 2.0? That was a male pheasant, wasn't it? Alright, we're gonna go one more pheasant, and then we'll go and switch to Yukon after we get the rabbit. Anyway, do I think they'd redo Primal? I think maybe, but I feel like they would have already done it. If they really felt like Primal was viable, I would have expected them to have redone it by now, given the fact that, you know, Call of the Wild's been out for 5 years. Although, when was Primal? 2014, 2015? Somewhere in that area? Yeah, Classic had been out for 6-ish years by then. Maybe Primal 2.0 happens. Anything good yet? Nothing to speak of size-wise, but look at our latest harvest here. Turkeys, pheasants, and rabbits galore. How far back does that go? Right about at the start of the stream, so I don't know. What do you think? 10-ish rooster pheasants over the last hour? Not been too bad. What grizzly fur type are you going for? Ideally albino. Now I've gotten albino in the trophy lights, but I really want albino gold. It's been this goal of mine to have like every animal in my trophy lodge either be a diamond or a gold rare. Or in the case of multi-mounts that include like a female animal, as long as the female animals are rare, I'm good with that. The reason for that, it really just comes down to like certain rares, and really grizzly bear aren't one of them, but it's just been a arbitrary number that I have in my head. But anyway, I don't know, what's a decent example? A very small leucistic black buck. It just doesn't fill. Because that's just going to go away, we're going to shoot that with a 308. A very small black buck. It's just not going to fill the plaque as well as like a diamond black buck. Now if it's a very small rare leucistic black buck, rare leucistic, a very small rare black buck, let's just, no need to be repetitive. There's reason to mount it, obviously, it's a rare, but is it better than a diamond? I don't know. So that's kind of where I've drawn that line. A gold rare is definitely better than a diamond, looks better than a diamond on the wall. Some silver rares do, but it's just this arbitrary thing that for some reason I've just continued to do, even though I probably shouldn't. What rare do you want for pheasants? Any. If I got to choose, I love the leucistics. That kind of whitish body with the green head. Like, that encapsulates everything that a pheasant is. Like, if somebody says, like, I'm going pheasant hunting, you think of the green head, the white ring around their neck, probably first, or, you know, when you imagine a pheasant, that's one of the major details. Leucistics still have that, then they're all white, the rest of them. Melanistics are very cool, though. That blue, that's a very unique thing. But yeah, any of them, really. Melanistic mountain goats are awesome. How do I say your name? I'm not sure. But that was something I really wanted. I was fortunate enough to get one. It's quite a while ago now, but they're one of my favorite rares in the game. Favorite rack for the whitetail great one? There's one that's almost like a typical. People ask me this, and I never know what to call it. But the most typical rack, if you've seen them. I wish they'd add trophy shots. Yeah, I was just playing Classic earlier, recording tomorrow's video. Pretty good hunt. I'm quite happy with how that went, by the way. But trophy shots are one of the biggest things. Like, very often, I'll shoot an animal that it's not my personal best, so it's probably not going to go in the trophy lodge, but it's once every 10 hours, 15 hours of hunting that species do you find one of that size. You want something to remember it by. Trophy shots are perfect for that. I can't believe they're not in Call of the Wild yet. I would say earlier on in Classic's life cycle than where we already are in Call of the Wild, Classic had trophy shots. I remember there was a point in time where you had to like screenshot the animal before you claimed it. But then I think they made it to where you could do trophy shots, but it was just like a trophy shot of the animal itself. And eventually they made it to where you could have your character in it too. Should I go to multiplayer? If you're bored of single player, absolutely. Alright, let's go to, what do we have, an hour, a little less than that. We'll just do 5 a.m. I don't like hunting at night, and I definitely don't like hunting at night on stream because I know it's already lower bitrate. If anybody has to watch in lower resolution due to maybe slower internet speeds, hunting at night just makes it really tough to see, so try to make it watchable for everybody. Let's get 300. 308 didn't do half bad on that last Grizzly, by the way. And I don't know, let's just go here, give them a little time to get into their zones maybe. Classic still superior. Like, I get these comments like every single Classic video. Somebody will be like, this game is literally trash compared to Call of the Wild, why do you keep playing it? And it's like, you need to have played the game, I guess, to understand. Classic is a better pure hunting game than Call of the Wild. Call of the Wild's got better graphics. Call of the Wild gets more consistent updates. I'd probably argue Call of the Wild is my favorite game between the two, but from a pure hunting perspective, Classic's still better. Anyway, swear somebody asked me a thing. Do you bass fish? I haven't in a while. I'd like to. It's one of those things like, I was just talking to my dad about this yesterday. Because he has a bad back. That's why the conversation started. And, like, a lot of times he just won't go turkey hunting because it's specifically sitting down that, like, bugs his back. And I was asking, like, is it because you can kind of stand for deer hunting, at least in rifle season, and they don't see you as well? Or, like, why are you able to deer hunt? And he was saying, like, the incentive is so much better for deer hunting. That happens for me for, like, hunting versus fishing. Like, I'll make time to hunt. I'm not good at making time to fish. If it's here, like in the creek, for trout, or even if it's creek chubs or whatever, you know, I've got an hour and a half. Let's walk out the door and go fishing. But if I've got an hour and a half and I got to drive 45 minutes, it's hard to make that time to go fishing. You cannot change my mind. Trail mix is the best snack ever. Trail mix is good. I need to find, I'm sure they have it. I need to find a mix that's gluten-free, because I don't even know if that's trail mix necessarily, but the kind, I think it is. Or is that Chex Mix? It is. Or what is that? Chex? Chester? Anyway, the little, like, Wheaties looking things, I like those, but I'm pretty sure they're gluten-full, as Kyla's mom would say. Chex? Okay. I wasn't sure because mix is the second half of it. I didn't know if I was getting the X's confused. Should Call of the Wild add fishing? My personal opinion on fishing is that if they want to do fishing, they should do it in a separate game. You imagine how many different things need added, right? So, like, when they do a new map, they need to do a bunch of new animals, new models, but probably a lot of the animations carry over. And then when they do a new weapon, a lot of the animations probably carry over. Maybe even with, you know, vegetation, maybe some of the models are very similar. But if they were to do fishing, we need all new animations, all new equipment, all new mechanics. And I never try to speak negatively about the game if I can help it, but let's just be honest, it would come with a lot of bugs. It just would. And a lot of games would. Like, this isn't just an EW thing. A lot of games would introduce a lot of bugs if they made an entirely new thing 5 years in. So I think they should do a new game. If they feel like fishing is something that's worth branching out into, I think they should just do a new game. And yeah, there are good fishing games out there already. Me and my cat are enjoying the stream? Nice. Do you remember the first hunting game you played? For me is Cabela's Big Game Hunter on PS2. Yeah, there was some goofy online turkey shoot or something. I bet I could find it if I really looked. I don't remember what the heck it was called. But, like, all these gobblers would just run around in front of a barn. I seem to remember a barn. And you would just shoot them. That is one of the first I can remember, but I'm not certain it was the first. And I'm not sure that counts as a hunting game. The one that I'm certain definitely counts was the first Throwback Thursday series ever to Cabela's Big Game Hunter 2004. My cousin got it for me for Christmas. It's funny how this worked out, and I'm not sure that it would have, like, I don't know that this specific thing affected it. He got me that hunting game, and he got my brother, I swear, it was something to do with building. I don't think it was Lincoln Logs, but maybe Legos, or some kind of, like, you know, building, work with your hands type thing. And he said, like, I think it was his wife or girlfriend at the time was like, why didn't you get them the same thing? Because, like, growing up, Santa Claus would always bring my brother and I the same stuff. Like, very, very similar things. Because you don't want one brother to be jealous or whatever, right? But I will never forget him saying something to the effect of, like, my brother can grow up to be a good, like, what's that word? Carpenter? Something like that. And he said about me growing up to be like a hunter or whatever. And look at me now, playing hunting games for a living. And I like to think of myself as a pretty good hunter. Maybe not a good turkey hunter. I think I'm pretty good at deer hunting. Santa. Yes. Alright, let's check this lake. Do I have a good... Yeah. I've been shooting some female grizzlies down here to try to get some respawns, so I want to look. What's been your most memorable hunt in real life? Kyla's first doe was very memorable for obvious reasons. One that involves something that I shot. Call it recency bias, but the buck that I shot this past year was special on so many different levels. Like, it not only is it the first deer that I ever shot on land that I own, it's the first buck that I shot on land I own, it's my biggest buck. It'll be in the... It's already in the PA record books, I think, as the second biggest non-typical shot in this county ever. And there's more and more layers the further you go. Like, it can go as far as, like, you know, it's my first... It's not my first buck on film, but it's almost my first buck on film. The other one that I shot is like a Tacticam on my scope at like 100 yards, and you can barely see it. The video's not out for that buck yet. It's going to be out in less than a month. The Meat Hunters videos are starting. It is at the end of that season, to just be aware of that. It's not less than a month away, but that stuff's coming down the pipeline very quick. And you guys will get to see it, but I'm very proud of the footage I got of that buck. What's up, Graham? How you doing, man? How many points did they have? 14. It was the 7x7. Double kickers on both sides that are quite symmetric, which is very, very neat. Do you ever duck hunt? I have not. It's something I want to get into. It's odd here because one of the neighbors, like, I don't know that I would say keeps pet ducks, but like they have a bunch of tame ducks with their wings clipped. Well, they did have a bunch. I found at least five or six dead ones. Their wings are clipped. There's coyotes around here. I don't know what they think is going to happen, but there's at least one that made it. I've been seeing it. Now, you know, if I don't shoot ones that are clearly having their wings clipped, if I shoot ones out of the air, it's fine. It's just a weird thing. Like, you want to be good with your neighbors and stuff. Santa's real and he's living in your walls. You know, if you play Classic during the holiday period, you hear Santa doing that ho 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 in the distance. You hear that at night if you listen really closely in your walls. What did your buck score as a non-typical? Net non-typical was 171 and 3/8. Gross score, the official gross score after the drying period was 179 and 1/8. I green scored it at 180 and 6/8. My brother had 181 and 2/8. So I personally believe that it was the 180, green score when it walked out. I feel pretty good if my brother and I both had it just above 180, and the green score had it just a touch, or the official score had it just a touch below 180 as a gross. I think it had 180 inches of antler legit when it walked out. For me, it's always going to be a PA 180. No change my mind now. Yeah, my property, PA Hunter, is 14 acres. My dad's got 120 some. 35 minutes north of here, something like that. Best comedian of 2022. If you want to see a picture of it, John, it's on my Instagram. It's on the community tab here on YouTube. It's in my Discord. I need to tweet it out or put it on Instagram or something. I shot a buck in Deer Hunter 2005. It was a 186 in the game, so it was a little bit bigger. But it's got like the same stickers and stuff. It was like I happened to be scrolling through my videos and I was like, wait a second. That's kind of sketch. It was in April, so it was long before that. Who was it? Bottom Boy? I forget who was telling me, Graham. Somebody recently on stream was saying like, they had a theory that the Waterfowl rework was meant to happen for Mississippi, and then they just couldn't get it done, so they were like, put gators on the map. Which, maybe that was it. Hey, if you're... I don't know if you only wanted that particular chunk of land, Kyla, but I would be 12,000% down to buy land in West Virginia for, like, a ton of reasons. Number one, you get multiple buck tags. So, you know, if I kill my buck here, yeah, I've got a lot of buck hunting still to do in West Virginia. Number two, it's within weekend distance, right? Finish the stream on Friday, drive to place in West Virginia, and hunt Saturday morning. What I'd like to do, or what I've always wanted to do, is get land in like Iowa or Illinois, Missouri. That's pushing weekend distance. I'd almost have to skip the Friday stream anyway. Gotta be near Bottomland Oasis? I don't disagree. I like it there. I mean, obviously, that buck Will was chasing was huge. What is a whale? What on earth are you asking me? What is a whale? Is a melanistic diamond mule deer? What on earth? What is... Are you asking, like, what are the odds of a melanistic diamond mule deer? I mean, any melanistic diamond's quite unlikely. That's a really cool rare. I can't figure out what you mean, though. I'm sorry. Look at that small male. Hold on. Hall of Shame duckaroo if I can hit it. I don't think I've ever seen a 0 kg harlequin. What do they usually weigh? Or are they all 0 kg? Wait, I'm dumb. They are all 0 kg. It was still low estimate, but not. Come into my ears, burn. Hey, we were just talking about you. Is that a big chunk of land right next to Bottomland Oasis still for sale? Have you been there to see it? Maybe me and Kylo will... That'd be a great idea. Take on 2 huge loans, but oh well. Believe me, in Illinois is hell in terms of taxes, lean towards Iowa. I've heard that taxes out there are nuts. I'd need to, and I don't even know if I'll ever do it. I'd like to, but just since you seem to know, are there landowner tags there? Because I know some states out there, you kind of have to earn your buck tag, like you have to shoot X number of does or something. Little schmoll silver guy. Alright, that's not as spectacularly tiny as I thought. Are beige gems buck rare? They are now. They didn't used to be. Look at all those guys. It's a whole party out there. What the heck? Odd. Wonder why they're right there, of all places. What did I miss? A whole bunch of Houston average size stuff. Nice, Bert. Congrats, man. Can only hunt with shotguns in Illinois? If I were to buy a property like that, it would primarily be for archery hunting anyway. They should add horses? Horses would be interesting. They would need to get the balance of that just right. Because you imagine, like, ATVs spook animals at render. You would have to have horses spook animals, you know, not all the way out to render, because if they did, then why would you just not use an ATV? It's going to be faster. But it can't spook animals less than 200 meters, because then it's just pay to win, because 200 meters-ish is the spook distance when you're running. Where did that hit? Not where I wanted. I think we hit him again. Yeah, we got him good that time. Alright, 2 bears down. Who's wait? Oh, the bears are waiting for the pizza to arrive? I saw that they did not invite you to the party. I was like, what are you talking about? Somebody ask a question about getting kicked or something? A peanut butter and pickle sandwich. I don't think they do want that. Well, bears might. Bears are gross. Eat anything like that. They don't. Most woodland animals are very familiar with horses. We use them commonly. Right, but like, game-wise, there has to be a balance. Just joined the live stream. What did I miss? We did about an hour of hunting pheasants over on Rancho. I think we shot 10 roosters or so. Bunch of turkeys and rabbits and stuff too. Now we're on Yukon. What, 3-ish male bears in? Just kind of getting going here. Snakehead, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Hoping they add more waterfowl on the other map, especially Yukon, Layton, and Mississippi. Yeah, there's room for it now, right? Why not? I would say, generally speaking, very little comparative effort. I'm sure it's still a bunch of effort. But in terms of adding new species, a lot of copy-paste, I would think. PB&P Sandies. Why do caribou troll so much? I don't know why that is necessarily. I've never quite understood, like, what causes so many caribou to be level 5 as opposed to, I don't know, elk or, you know, another species that doesn't troll all the time. It just seems odd, and some species are like that. You get a lot of legendary pumas and mountain lions. Many of those are trolls. Oops. I've never quite understood why that happens. I did, Ace. I'm jealous of that. What were you grinding for? You were on a grind, right? So I haven't had a chance to watch the new waterfowl mechanics. How does it work? Need zones and stuff still? I don't remember if there's zones. Much more like Classic, though. Much more like Classic. Lots of collars. The ducks kind of circle in. You want the collars to bring the ducks more into range. I forgot I shot that one all the way over here. Just bears for days. Doing their thing. Is it true killing bucks will bring back bigger in-game? Not strictly, like, it's not 100% of the time. If you shoot a buck, you're going to get a new buck replacing it that may be bigger, but also may be smaller. It's just a game of chance. It's random. One thing with Iowa, if you have private land, you have to be careful with trespassers in season. It's crazy what people will do for an Iowa deer. I can only imagine. Like, my dad's dealt with trespassers, as far as I know, the entire time he's owned the property. It's been better as of late. He's owned it since, I think it was like the year I was born, so he's owned it for about 25 years. I still saw a guy walking the line, which is what a lot of trespassers do, like, because you can't really say that they were trespassing, but like a good example, there's a old crate of some kind sitting against a tree just over the property line, but the problem is it's on Dad's property side of the tree. So if you're sitting on this crate against a tree, like, what direction do you think you're hunting? But technically you can't do anything about it. And even here, like, I know for a fact the previous owners of this property, I think the guy used to hunt many years ago, but his wife was kind of not anti-hunting, but, you know, she didn't like to see animals get hurt and stuff. What I heard was, like, if there was a fly, she would open the window, she wouldn't kill it. So they didn't allow, like, anybody to hunt here. And it was the second day of rifle season. Two dudes just came waltzing in. I guarantee they knew that buck was there. I guarantee they were going in after it. They walked right down to where he was bedding. I'm pretty sure they probably saw him from the road or whatever, and were trying to scoot in and get him on a drive or whatever. But what I'm getting at is, like, you know, I've dealt with it. Dad's dealt with it for a long time. These are PA deer. These are bucks that, now, mine was a maybe special example, you know, 170-inch deer, but these are bucks that are normally 110, 120, maybe 130 is a really big one. We had a 150 pass through one time. We had one trail camera picture of it at Dad's. Other than that, the biggest buck we've ever had on camera is about a 130, 140. Iowa deer is a whole different thing. Good thing I got him first. Well, I hadn't gotten him by then. But yeah, I was thinking that too, like, as far as I can tell, everybody at the club's been pretty cool about it. Like, there's a sportsman's club next to us, and one of my neighbors is a member of it, and he's like a really good guy. Before I got the riding mower, I was push mowing here the one day, and he came down and like mowed part of my grass for me, which was really nice. But anyway, he's a member of the club, and he was telling me like, oh yeah, everybody knew about that buck. I was like, oh, good. I'm sure they all know I killed it now too. You have to think there's some percentage of them that's like, I've been hunting that buck for 3 years, and this stupid kid comes in and buys the property and shoots it the first day I even found out it existed. But it is what it is. It's one thing like if they killed it up on the club property, but you know, for those guys to scoot down through there where technically, like, they definitely didn't have permission from me, and I'm 99% sure they never got permission from the previous landowner anyway, even if they didn't know that I bought it. Are you outside fishing, Kyla? I didn't even know you. I knew you left. I didn't know the dog left. Explains why she's not here. People regularly pull out 150 plus from hunting in Missouri. Yeah, and that's why I wanted to get land out there someday. I'm really interested to see what the genetics do here. We've got one buck on camera so far that I think has a chance of being like, and this is, you know, I don't even know what his frame's going to be. I don't recognize him from last year or anything. I'm just going off the fact that he's got good beam growth already. Like, you're starting to see G2s. He might be a 130 or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm very curious. You know, a 170-inch deer. He's, even if he had no stickers, he's about 162 mainframe 10. So, you know his genetics are around, and I'm wondering how consistently there's going to be really big bucks around here. But I've got friends that hunt like in Ohio and stuff. They're like, yeah, these guys won't even pull the trigger unless it's a 150 or, you know, release an arrow. And I'm like, I'm still going back to Dad's to hunt that like 7-year-old buck that's probably going to be a 110 again this year. Hey, Simon, thanks for your membership here on YouTube. I appreciate you. You got one of the longest YouTube memberships. Is Kylo a mod in the official Call of the Wild server? Yeah. Kylo's a mod almost everywhere. Oh, I guess that's because it was like renewing an old membership. I was wondering why that popped back up. Thank you, Simon. I read that early thinking it wasn't going to pop up because normal, like, renewals don't. We let our deer grow for 2 years, and now we have a monster 190 plus score in deer. So when you say you let your deer grow for 2 years, you just mean you didn't, like, did you not hunt there? You didn't shoot any below a certain age? We started doing that. Like, my brother and I, if we would get a chance, you know, say until 4 years ago, if we got a chance at a basket rack 8, we shoot it. You know, we're in PA and we're teenagers. Like, there's not a bunch of Boone and Crockett deer running around out here, so we started looking for age in our bucks. Like, won't shoot a buck that's younger than, I still consider PA mature about 3.5. The average life expectancy for a deer in PA, I think, is 2.5 years. So if they're a year beyond that, they're alright. I'd ideally want older than that, obviously, but, you know, a real nice 3.5-year-old deer I'm probably not going to pass up. And already we've seen significant improvement, just because, like, when a nice 2.5-year-old deer walks past, we pass it. Did you shoot any below 5 years? Okay, I got you. Got a buck in Kentucky that already has 8 points. Now, you guys are different, right? Because it's a little further south, and antler growth starts sooner. We only started to get, like, nubs, I don't know, 3 weeks ago max? I love your vids. Keep up the great work. I'll definitely do my best. Thank you, Anna. Ooh, we're 7 o'clock already. Time flies when we talk about hunting. Is there a new great one coming? There is. There's been confirmed that there's a new great one. I believe TK's exact words were not going to tell, or were that we're not going to tell you what it is, and we're not going to tell you where it is. How long the tracks last on the ground? It seems to vary. I think it depends on like how many animals are in the area. I've had tracks that seem to be multiple hours old, and I've watched tracks disappear that are probably less than 20 minutes old. I'm in Arkansas. We have nubs only too. Arkansas, I would have thought would have early antler growth. There was a guy on Twitter. It wasn't Arkansas, but it was somewhere, you know, southern U.S. In April, he had some nubs. Oh, absolutely, deer no safe zones. Absolutely. Which is the other side of my situation here. Like I said, the previous owner didn't allow hunters. He didn't hunt. So for basically 50 years, I think that's about as long as they were here. And I don't know how long they actively, like, you know, didn't allow hunting or whatever. Because there is a remnant of a stand at the back of the property where he did allow somebody to hunt one year. I think the situation was, like, he told the guy he could hunt there, and then the guy built a stand in, like, the biggest, nicest tree, and he was in the lumber industry, so he was very upset about that. And it's just like, nah, never mind. Not cool. But anyway, I wonder, like, as the deer do start to get pressured, like, am I going to see way less of big males? What are you hunting in game and in real life? In game right now, we're chasing grizzly bear. In real life, well, technically tomorrow's the last day of spring gobbler season. Not liking my odds there. But I mostly hunt whitetail. Pronghorn this fall, in theory. We find out tomorrow night, or maybe not till Wednesday, if we drew for pronghorn or not. Which I'd like to think we should, but I know they've cut the tag, so our odds maybe aren't as good as we thought they were. Wait, what? I was telling my buddy the other day I didn't even know muleys and whitetails get below 200? What do you mean? Like you're saying you thought all mature ones got above 200, or was that a mistake of the above and below thing? I had early access? To what? Out the Reventuly Coast, or I'd be there right now. First call the wild diamond. It was a musk deer. I think it was the day before Halloween 2017. Medved had just come out. I kind of understood what diamonds were, and I had a level 5 moose, big rack, nice moose. I shot it in the heart. I was so proud, like I finally made this shot, dropped this max level animal, and I didn't have consec. Back then you had to have consecutive harvest bonus. Bonuses affected your metal, and yeah, I lost my diamond. I think because I shot a cow moose earlier in the hunt and didn't claim it. Really unfortunate situation. And then 2 days later-ish, I was back out there, same area. I found a level 3 musk deer, and that one I got. You think this turkey will come in? It's a light brown diamond potential, waiting at his zone. Maybe. Oh, 200 plus pounds. That's a whole lot different situation there. I mean, a lot of mature bucks here will top 200, but I could see ones in some areas that don't. Is it true Illinois is the home of atypical, meaning like a non-typical? My understanding of non-typical bucks is age and stress level. Unstressed deer will grow more non-typical tines, I believe. And I don't know population to, like, I don't know how populated Illinois is compared to the amount of deer or anything like that. Couldn't tell you. What gun should I hunt or should I use to hunt gobblers on SRP? Probably, I mean, I would go with like the 22 Virant. Oh no, not legendary black bear and 5 medium Rocky Mountain elk trolls? That's annoying. I meant you had early access to Finland? No. No early access. It may happen still, but it hasn't yet. Hello there. No, don't flee. Oh god. What great timing. They call me a professional out here with my ready-to-go weapons. There's a chance we hit him anyway. What's your go-to weapon for class 9 animals? The 300, same thing I just shot the bear with. Most memorable diamond. It's probably got to be the 1000 Coyote, because going all the way back, this was March 2018, I believe. I still remember the events of it quite well. I mean, I've told this story a couple times because I think it's funny. If you've seen the video where I was pushing JaxyBeard into the lake with the ATV, that was the same night as a 1000 Coyote. And as I'm, actively doing this, I thought, I had the plan for the name of the video in my head, Why Flinter Never Kills Diamonds, because at this time, between Beard, Zaggy, and I, which we were kind of like the, not to maybe exclude anybody, but I feel like we were kind of the main 3 Call of the Wild streamers at the time. At least in the YouTube scene. Maybe there's some Twitch streamers that I didn't know about. I had the least amount of diamonds out of the 3 of us then. So I'm planning on making that the title of the video and all that. And eventually later that night, I found with the old Zag Tactics the 27 kg Coyote track. Ultimately tracked down with the help of JaxyBeard, Sean Johns, and Guide Emperor J. It was just a whole team effort, even down to the fact that you could call nervous animals in back then, and I think it still works. A caller will often make an animal stop. So, Jaxy hitting the call to get the coyote to stop and then making the hard shot. All of it, like, I remember all these details. They're biting, but I won't like your lure. Oh, you're using... Why using a lure? Use your little trout magnets. Do you know if EW is working on any improvements to the trophy lodge? I've not heard anything about it. I wish they would. A new trophy lodge would be nice. The last trophy lodge is like a safari. I think it's November 2019. Been quite a while. Kyla got you into SD. It's a fun game. Maybe one day we'll do more content on it. Find more rares in multiplayer. Per hour played, maybe. The thing about it is, things that I grind for, when I did the Great One Whitetail grind or Great One Red Deer grind, you get a bunch of rares when you grind for anything, really. So that may throw the balance off a little bit. It's not more likely to get rares in multiplayer. It's just that, like, think of it this way, okay? You only see new animals on your own map if you shot animals in the previous hunt, or if you've never seen them. But let's pretend you've seen every animal on your map, right? And for the sake of easy numbers, let's say there are 1,000 animals on your entire map, and you hunt for an hour and a half and kill 30. So your next hunt, if you were to see every animal again in an hour, which would take, it's impossible, but let's, just for the sake of argument, you would see 970 of the exact same animals and 30 new ones that have respawned from your previous stuff. If you go into multiplayer, especially if it's somebody that hosts multiplayer every day, for that same hour, if 8 people are on that map, let's say they all kill 30 in an hour. What's that? Math is hard. 8 times 3. Yeah, 240 new animals every single time. So you're just going to have all kinds of different factors like that. It may even be, maybe your favorite grizzly bear spot is up here by this bridge, and maybe the host has never visited there and he's got an albino sitting up there. Like, you could just get one because somebody's never checked in that area and you happen to check there every single time you hunt. You know what I mean? Frustrating not having filters. We need them so bad. I see Shadows wide awake. Did you catch any fish?
Oh, I didn't like your thing.
Why? It's just steady retrieve.
I could hear, feel them hitting, but I didn't know exactly what.
That's what was happening to me too. They wouldn't get the hook. They're kind of too small for that lure, really. My most memorable would be my first diamond red fox. That's one of the, and kind of like the coyote, that's one of those that you just know it's so rare. Does the Antler Rattler call in whitetail? I don't think so. The Snort Wheeze does. Antler Rattler is like reindeer, caribou. I feel like gemsbuck, hoodoo, fallow deer. A lot of stuff, but I don't think whitetail. Should not public land in Minnesota? Maybe one day. Not in the winter. Minnesota's pretty cold, ain't it? Have you ever played Fortnite or Apex? No. I might have... I think I did play Apex a little bit on stream with G-Man one time. That's a decent caribou. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big shooter game guy. There's a... Wait. Yeah, there's two good ones. They're both uneven. Oh boy. Didn't even hit the one I wanted. I tried to lob a shot over that one's head. It didn't work. Alright, well at the very least we gotta go claim caribou now. What's up, Wormy? Grinding for a great one. Whitetail, all I got is does now. Shot all the bucks. Have you tried like other lakes that you haven't been grinding? I'd say there's a fair chance they're kind of moving around. That's not terrible, Cody. One of those times where I shot up before spotting it. Yeah, those are way more special, huh? Like when you don't know it's coming. Kyla does that with geese a lot of times. She doesn't spot stuff.
I was thinking about making a video about that.
What?
Making a video. Recording myself with like music in the background. I don't have game sound. I'm just looking for the best. I don't know what levels they are.
Kind of like Goose Roulette that we did.
Yeah.
I told my friend the name of the Snort Wheeze caller and he laughed for 5 minutes straight. I don't... Is it because he doesn't know what a Snort Wheeze is, I guess? Or is it called something dumb? I've never looked. I assume it's called a Snort Wheeze caller. I don't know if it has a name. I know some stuff does. Would a prehistoric Call of the Wild be fun? We were talking about that earlier in regards to like Primal and if they made a newer version on Call of the Wild's engine. I think it would be good. Primal was very good. The thing that killed Primal was one, I believe is effectively a side project of some of the classic devs. So, you know, it never got the full attention that it probably deserved. And eventually it was abandoned. It only ever had 5 species of dinos, so it never got real far. I grew up in Wyoming, and there is legit hunting out here. I have a 6-point bull elk. We only count points on one side out west, so a 12-point and a 192 mule deer. Nice. We're supposed to be going to Wyoming for pronghorn this fall, assuming that we get drawn. I've been building preference points. I've got when I buy them this year, because I'm obviously not hunting. I'm hunting pronghorn this year, if anything. I'll have 4 general deer and 4 elk preference points. So hopefully, in the next couple years, I can do some elk and mule deer hunting out there. I've got a theory that if I manage the same 3 to 4 herds, then the respawn will be within them. I don't think all the respawns are within them, and I'll tell you why. And Yukon's actually the thing that kind of made me realize this. When I was hunting red fox and grinding them for a diamond, I wasn't checking this area. I checked it once and I didn't happen to find any foxes, so I just thought there weren't any foxes there. And, you know, I would hunt every lake, all these ones over through here, this whole river system. There's red foxes all over Yukon, which makes it a little frustrating to try to grind for one. And then one day, for whatever reason, I was like, you know, maybe I ought to check. Just make sure there's no red fox in here. In a matter of an hour, I killed 20 red fox in here. I know for a fact that there's not normally 20 red foxes in those areas. After killing those 20, it eventually got down to about 10 on my map once I realized it was a good area to hunt. And if you go into multiplayer, that's about what you expect to see, about 10 foxes there. My opinion is that some of the respawns over time were just going there to the point where it had 20 in that spot. Hunt's been good, Joe. We just got a couple of caribou. Still looking for more male grizzlies. Where will you be hunting antelope in Wyoming? We put in for 3 different units. I guess it depends on where we get drawn at. The strategy that we went for, it's cool that Wyoming does this, because I feel like a lot of states don't. Maybe I could be wrong. I'm not real familiar with preference point systems in any other state, but we put in for like one of the trophy units that usually takes like 13 points to draw for as our first choice. If we get it, we're in a really good pronghorn unit, you know, so that's obviously a big win. If we don't, and we still get our second or third choice, our preference points aren't used for that second or third choice, so we can keep building for future hunts. Danny with the 23-month, almost 2 years, man, that's nuts. Sorry for lateness, but was at a picnic with my fam. Did I miss much? Nothing big, diameter rare-wise, nothing special. I wonder why, I said. Oh, nice show, I'll check it out. Can you get a great one on multiplayer? Indeed. Call the out suggestion list, customizable / buildable outposts, hunting lodge style, fishing, more vehicles, boats, other dogs, custom difficulty settings for single player, preset hunting, stains and blinds. What do you mean by preset? That's the only one I don't understand, the rest I get. Is it just me or are moose more bullet spongy since the duck update? We haven't had a duck update. When is bullet spongy like more resilient kind of thing? I like a deployable tower in Call of the Wild. I don't know. I guess the towers get you a little bit higher up, but I feel like the tripods do a good enough job that I'm happy enough with those. For my personal needs, anyway. Indian map with tigers, peacocks, axis deer, stika deer. I believe they could do black buck there if they were to do an Indian map. I think it'd be neat. Is there anything you prefer to hunt when not on a grind? If I just want to go out and hunt, like normally I just hunt Layton. And, you know, whatever I can find. Moose, elk, deer, all that I generally enjoy. I kind of like running around on Yukon too. You know, the chance of maybe encountering wolves and all that. Almost any map. If it's just like a wander around hunt, I usually have a lot of fun. Shot him out as a bison? Nice. How do you get your grizzly bear to respawn? Yeah, same as anything else, just run around and shoot all the males I can find. I'd love to be able to customize the layout of my lodge. Yeah, even if it was, even if, like, the plaque placement stayed the same. You know, let's say for every position where there's a plaque or a platform, if we could choose the size of it. Now that might change the way they would design it. Can I fast travel over there or anything? I guess we're gonna have to just try to find this guy. There we go. 7 out there. But I don't know. Here's what I find interesting about trophy lodges, right? There's that glitch or exploit, whatever you want to call it, that people do that allows you to place any animal regardless of whether it should be able to fit on that plaque or not. People do that, and I would probably say that that's not within the aesthetic that EW is going for. So why not just let us put any plaque size in places, even if they overlap a little bit? You know, if somebody doesn't care and they want to do that, I say let them go for it. I personally, that would bug the heck out of me. If my plaques overlap, so I wouldn't do it. But, you know, that doesn't mean there aren't still places where, you know, I could put 2, call them deer-sized plaques, where they have 2 waterfowl plaques or something like that. Eventually he will die. I may need to shoot him so many times he gets lead poisoning. But whatever you gotta do. I don't think any of those shots hit. Alright, what's gonna be the most... We can cross here, so let's go get this one first. What's up, pizza kittens? Vurhonga is very unrealistic for my liking. I live in Southern Africa and it feels so dead and different than what Southern Africa hunting offers, diversity of species, terrain. You're going to find that with any map. Like, anybody that actually lives in the area is going to feel like there's a bunch of things missing and stuff. Although I will say, a lot of my impression is that a lot of people who live in like Southern Africa actually quite like Vurhonga Savannah. But I guess that doesn't mean they're necessarily hunters, they just live there. Lead'll make them dumb? You're right. The range of a great one hearing you? It probably still depends. I wouldn't think it's much different than, you know, a level 9 fox or bear or something. Exploits are exploits. It's the way it goes, Danny. Initially, when it was discovered, I was just certain that they were going to have an update to fix that, and that it was going to mess up people's trophy lodges. Years later now, they still haven't fixed it. Trail cameras would be cool, Carson. I don't know. It'd be tough to implement, because, to put it very simply, we have like approximately like a 400-meter circle around us that's rendered. Stuff beyond that range technically isn't rendered, so if you had a camera that's outside of your render range, a little tough to deal with. It's going to require more resources, so it may cause lag and stuff. So getting that to work would be difficult. How often should you get a diamond deer? When something's, you know, at the end of the day, random, it's tough to say how often you should get one. I would say, and it depends too, like, are you grinding? Are you just casually hunting? I'm going to say if you're casually hunting in single player, one every like 3 or 4 days. Then again, it depends on how many hours you put in, all that stuff. It's so factor dependent. Maybe a camera that takes pictures 125 yards away or less from where you're at, though? Because at that point, is it worth having a camera up? You know what I mean? Sarah, thank you for the super chat. Me and my boyfriend love your videos. Keep it up. Well, I will definitely do my best. Thank you. I appreciate the support. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the videos. Will they ever increase the render distance? I would say there's actually a legitimate chance they do. Classic, which for anybody that doesn't know, is kind of the predecessor to Call of the Wild. When it came out in 2009, you know, obviously PC only, but hardware was still limited. As advancements in hardware were made, you know, a lot of PCs were running Classic so easily, and they could have, you know, dealt with more. So I think in 2019-ish, they increased render distance in Classic from about 200 meters to 300 meters. You may see that with Call of the Wild too, maybe with, you know, the next-gen consoles, as PCs as well kind of continue to advance. The thing about it is, like, you have to imagine this is still maybe 3 to 5 years down the road at the earliest. The way they did it in Classic was smart. Hello, sir. No, don't flee. Why do you hit me? Oh, God. Bad shooting. Alright, hopefully he'll die. Anyway, so in Classic they did it based on settings. I think they have the same setting. Yeah, scene complexity. So, if you were to drop that down to low in Classic, you would have the minimum render distance, the old render distance of about 200 meters. If you had it ultra, Classic doesn't have an ultra setting, like a high or, you know, the max, you would get the max render distance. That's a way to bring it about a little bit sooner, but you would still need, you know, consoles to be to a point where they could handle that. And I don't know anybody that plays Call of the Wild on like the newest gen for consoles, but given what the last gen struggled with, I'm going to assume it's not quite like, you know, it's 100% ready to go kind of thing. Biggest buck you ever got in real life? The one that I shot this past year. It's a 171 and 3/8 net non-typical 14 point. How many hours in did you get your first diamond? I think it was like 60, but I really didn't play Call of the Wild much back then. Like, it took me 6 months. Maybe it was like 100 hours. But yeah, it was, I started in February. It took me 8 months, because I started in October. I've been grinding for one of those as well, Taft. I shoot female and male, because it's different than whitetail, right? Lions, if you have like 4 at one spot, that spot is loaded. You're not going to see a lot of that. So you can usually afford to shoot both the males and the females. And they kind of stand around, right? So you can just maybe get extra spawn. Shoot the females first, because that's the thing you're actually after. You don't want to let some of them get away unnecessarily. But like, I shot a dark brown mythical on my grind. Just because I was, you know, looking for a female rare. Snakehead, thank you again, by the way. I already half read that, and yes, I want that. How would you feel about a second Alaska map with Sitka Blacktail, Brown and Black Bear, Roosevelt Elk, Mountain Goat, and Waterfowl? Yeah, I mean, basically everything you mentioned there is what I feel like is missing from Yukon Valley. Could you... I still think Grizzly Bear and Call of the Wild are kind of... They look like Kodiak bears to me. So I don't know if technically you could do Kodiak bears and have them be different or not. But, I don't know. I think that would be good. Current gen could easily have the map entirely loaded. Just needs optimization. Fair enough. The optimization in Call of the Wild is not good. Yeah, it's a 64 square kilometer map. I don't think you could have the entire map loaded. Most PCs couldn't do that. But with proper optimization, it could definitely be a lot better. But if they kept optimization as is, I'm not sure the current gen is going to be running everything 60 FPS, 4K, whatever. I don't know that a new trophy lodge is needed necessarily, but I do think we're getting close to that point that a new trophy lodge is needed. A lot of them are waterfowl, I get that, but we're going to be upwards of 60 species now. I think we need like a trophy lodge with another level about Seika Safari size, like twice as big, or maybe they just jam more plaques into Seika Safari. I wouldn't be upset if they did that. In Call of the Wild, Dr. Smokey, even the level 1 dogs can pretty much track anything effectively. Huh?
I said you just have to tell them to. You
Yeah.
can't expect the dogs to do it.
If you gotta hit the little wheel, set them on the track, and they'll find it. If you're within about 30 meters of any blood, they'll find the blood and track it down. What kind of dog do you have? Velociraptor. Blue Heeler and Border Collie mix. Would level customizable trophy lodge? Yeah, I'm all about customization in games like this. I still think we need customizable characters. Classic, at least, you know, for one, there's all the camo options, and I don't know, there's 16 to 24 or something like that, different avatars you can choose. What are there, 7 in Call of the Wild? Like, how is Classic way more customizable than Call of the Wild? Grizzly Bear in this game are bigger than the ones in real life? Yeah, I feel like they almost should be Kodiak bears. I don't know why they went with Grizzly. Because they get to like 700 kilograms almost. What's that in pounds? It's close to 2,000 pounds. That's a big grizzly. We call her Pipple Baby Velociraptor. It's claws. I gotta get her claws trimmed too. She's not been a big fan of that lately. Anyway, I will read Graham's thing first. If fast travel to a zone, should I set the time for the zone time before or after? I would go like 15 to 20 minutes after. On that note, that is going to do it for this stream. No diamonds or rares today, but a lot of kills, both in the pheasant realm and in the grizzly bear realm. I don't know how long we have till Reventuli Coast. Obviously, there's no official release date yet. I would think we're less than a month away. Generally, like late June is when those maps come out. So, hopefully these efforts, you know, on streaming and videos and stuff are going to pay off, and we can get those rare grizzly and rare rooster pheasants sooner rather than later. But anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the support. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video over in the Hunter Classic, looking for our 1000th carbon recurve harvest. Bye!